how you doing? We're gonna run through a bunch of the spells in the new upcoming RPG game, Vigilante Justice. If we have time, we might pick the powers. I kind of got an idea. I think the powers I want for my character, but let's start going through them. Okay. So here we go. We got one of the first is absorption of powers, right? So this is the ability to temporarily or permanently absorb the powers of others. And so here's the rank limitations. If you're feeble, 1 power for 1 hour you can absorb, average 1 power daily, proficient. So, and the examples, one of the reasons this says examples is this is something for you and the other players or you and your GM to decide what these effects of this power is going to be. These are suggestions. Accelerated healing, the power to heal rapidly from injuries. Animal control, the power to communicate with, command, or mimic the abilities of animals. Right? So again, it might be something like feeble may control one animal under 25 pounds at a time. Or maybe you or your GM will say you have the ability to run up a tree like a squirrel. Biomanipulation, the ability to alter biological processes such as accelerated healing, controlling bodily functions, or mutating others. If you're able to control a specific genius of a animal, you are able to kill it and modify it. So I got to fix that spelling there. So maybe like give it an extra claw, or you might be able to just kill specific like mammals or whatever. Okay. And then I always put notable heroes, like who are heroes that you could go look up by their comics and see, oh, what's his power look like the Swamp Thing, Poison Ivy. Later on you control insects or grow or kill plants, right? Maybe you'll make plants that can attack. Clairvoyance, the ability to perceive events or information beyond the range of normal sight, often seen into the future or remote locations. So it's feeble, can foretell what will transpire within 20 feet in 20 hours. So if you're standing somewhere, you can tell in the last day what has happened, or in the future 24 hours what will happen there. A lot of fun you can have with that one. Cosmic, plus you can give your grief to your GM. Cosmic awareness, the power to perceive the universe on a grand scale, understanding cosmic forces and events beyond normal comprehension, right? So you can't have it at feeble. Average, you can foretell cosmic calamities to hit your location or planet. So at this level, you could tell if an asteroid's going to hit or whatever. Proficient, can foretell cosmic events in the solar system. So oh, okay, we're going to have an EMP come from the sun. Heroic, can perceive any radiation in your universe. So you could see and perceive of any different type of radiation. Okay, superhero, you can see gravity when in a vacuum. So you can literally see how gravity works. Demigod is aware of cosmic events everywhere. Cosmic energy manipulation, power to control cosmic energy, often used to manipulate matter on a grand scale or to grant various superhuman abilities. So this is like one of my characters. He doesn't know it, but he's a handicapped child who happens to be the illegitimate child of the Silver Surfer. And the government's after him, people are after him. He doesn't know who his father is, but he just knows sometimes something happens, and he can manipulate cosmic energy, make himself healed. He can use it to feed himself. He can shoot a ray. Okay, so we went through like the first 12, and let's pop over to see us in Roll20. So if you look at our character sheet here for the hero we rolled, you'll see that one, I've got 3 power points, but he's a pretty good, 75 strength. That's pretty, that's super heroic. Agility, super speed, super, his mental is demigod, so he's got multiple probably advanced degrees, so really smart. So this is a pretty good character. Now, one thing I could do is I could just give him fly, which is 3 hero points. But what would I have? I'd have Superman, right? Superman, what's the only thing he's vulnerable to besides kryptonite? Magic, right? So this guy's got weak magic. I could easily make him, like I said, he could be any character pretty much in the DC universe. But what I want to do is I want to take his weakness and have his powers basically supplement his weakness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take energy absorption, right? So energy absorption allows me basically to take some kind of energy, absorb it, and then I use it to enhance one's abilities. So I'm going to say the energy is going to be magical energy. So if I'm hit with a magical spell, I'm real weak at feeble level, but then the next time I get hit with a magic spell that I have a save against, I'm now going to be average. And if I keep getting dinged, I'm going to get to where, like at the profession level, I get a 10 HP energy discharge. So I'd get higher save, and then I could store it and hit them with magical energy. If I get the energy absorption at the superhero, I can use it to heal 20 damage to myself with the stored energy, right? Demigod, I can heal others or self with stored energy 25 hit points. So I think that's a pretty good power for us to start with. So we're going to put energy absorption. Right? What else do we got? I could add enhanced longevity, enhanced reflexes, enhanced senses, fear induction. So that's 2. So I'm going to take fear induction. I already have the examples done up. I just got to move them from Word document to here. So, but basically, depending on the level, he, like if it's demigod level, then a bunch of people go running in fear for 3 rounds. Super heroic 1-person fear for 3 rounds. Heroic 1-person fear for 2 rounds. Proficient means that basically he can cause fear to the point that it limits their power. Average would be one of their abilities, right? Feeble would be they go last, basically like that. So let's roll to see what level we got for energy absorption. So that's 25. And let's see what we got. 76. Fear induction. That's pretty good. Okay, so now let's list up the action result chart. And you can say 25, right? Well, that's feeble. And then fear induction at 76, that would be super heroic. And that's it. We've rolled up that first character. So the next time I do a video, we will do some combat simulation. So tell me what you think. Again, I'm still in the process. I used AI for like the images that you see, and at some point I'm going to pay somebody. Maybe I'll put on Kickstarter. We'll get rid of those. Besides that, the only thing I really used AI for was research and maybe some spell checking, because I keep AI up and I'll say, how do I spell a word? Because within Scribus, my Windows Grammarly doesn't seem to work within it. So I use it for that. But like things like, I told it, will give me every power ever done in any TV superhero show, any DC comic, any Marvel comic. And then that created like this list of like 120 different powers. Well, then I went through, a lot of them were duplicates and stuff, and I'm still edging out some of the duplicates, but I brought it down to about 70 powers. Well, this whole part, let's go back. So I rewrote this. It did tell me the names of the heroes, so that was great. I kept that in there. But these rank limitations, these are all from me, right? What does this power look like in my game? And so it's still going to be a bit of a time. I'm going to release the PDF before December, and I might, like I said, the release companies' copies will probably come in November. And then December, I might put some, like the first book up on Amazon, but then I'm going to add a lot more to it. And so when I add a lot more to it, I might take it to Kickstarter, and that would probably be when I'd be looking for people in the community that are playing the game to help me with the graphics within the game and the page setting and things like that. My hands don't work anymore. Otherwise, back in the day, I would have done all the images myself. But, I think if a game looks halfway decent, people are more likely to enjoy it. So I am spending time trying to make it look nice. But right now, a lot of my time is spent doing combat simulations and saying, well, how does this power work against that power? I made some big changes to combat yesterday just through playing through the game a couple more times. So we're fine-tuning her in, but I will say this, I played a lot of superhero games, and this one seems pretty easy to just jump right into. Rolling up a character, it's like a half a page if you use normal size lettering, and I pretty much just step you through it. You roll for each of your abilities, you then look at the list to see, well, what's the rank number? You roll for your age. You look at your highest ability is your health points, and then you roll for your wealth. Then you got 4-sided dice. You roll that. That's the number of power points you got. You go by your powers. It's a pretty simple game. It'll take you more to really go through, because 70 right now. I'm at 78. I'll probably get down to 72 powers, because some of them are really close and practically the same thing. And why have those? Just allow the GM, if they want to make the power more like this character as opposed to that character, just do that. There's going to be in the second edition, probably won't this one, second edition, I'm going to have guidelines on creating your own powers. So to me, I see this as a fun game. It works solo. Unlike a lot of games to play solo, you got to buy an oracle, or you got to find this one comes with an oracle. I've been using it. It's you get a lot more events than you do in the in some of the other oracles, and I think that's the fun of this system, right? While you're trying to fight something in the comic books, when you're fighting a baddie, something else always happens, right? We keep building up, building on top of, until finally the hero is successful or fails, and I think that's part of the fun of the game, is never knowing what's going to happen next. Anytime you roll that dice on the oracle chart, you might now be fighting a supervillain, or you might now be, three more thugs showed up, while you're fighting thugs in the street. It's funny, one of my characters who's like basically a Flash kind of character, well, the way I had the speed powers, it wasn't really, it didn't give me the feeling of a Flash type character. It had some things like I could rush in and hit them for more damage, or I could jump out of their way. But I wanted something that would be more like, you could pop one character, and then when that character goes to hit you, you can use that defensive action to pop into another character and hit them. So kind of, because if you ever notice in the Flash, it would be kind of an explosion, like, and you had to be lucky to hit him, or you had to be just as fast as him to hit him. Otherwise you're swinging it air. And I think that would be a fun role for a character, basically to be somebody to tie up people, maybe not doing a lot of damage, but he could keep 2 or 3 people at bay while the tank goes and beats them up one at a time. So I think depending on the game, so that's what I'm trying to do with the power. So if you got any feedback, let me know. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.